Another member added to the Bloodline who really killed WCW. The Forbidden Door blown off the hinges. All this and more on an episode of the Connoisseurs of Wrestling podcast. Yes, that's right. I finally said, you know what, damn it, I'm going to do a wrestling podcast. And joining me right now is Marcus and Aydee, fellas. Thanks for joining the show tonight. How y'all feeling?
I'm exhausted personally. I'm good. Yeah, I've been helping out at Vacation Bible School. We call it Fam Jam at my church for the past 4 days. And yeah, I'm wore out, but I'm here to talk some pro graps and let's go.
All right. Aydee, what's happening? What's going on with you?
Yo, same stuff, different day. Very excited about Forbidden Door. Like that door just keeps opening more and more, and can't wait to see who else walks through it.
Yeah, we saw last night Tetsuya Naito was in the States. Minoru Suzuki challenged the Learning Tree. Chris Jericho was like, I don't want to be your partner. I want to kick you behind. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. And then, of course, you know, what else happened? We had the Stone Pit Bull running around last night, Tomohiro Ishii. Oh, my God, what else? Dynamite was so doggone loaded last night. That's the thing about Dynamite when it comes to the Forbidden Door pay-per-views. You don't know who's going to pop out anywhere. And the president of New Japan Pro Wrestling,
Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yes. And then we also got a Tomohiro, not Tomohiro, but a Hiromu Takahashi sighting last night.
Ticking time bomb.
Very, very, very pleased about that. So, fellas, while it's fresh on my mind, let's go ahead and talk about it. Who killed WCW? The fourth and final episode aired this past Tuesday night, and it kind of put a bow on what happened. But it didn't tell us who exactly killed WCW. Have y'all had a chance to watch some of it or all of it?
I watched it.
Okay.
Missed it. I missed it last night.
Yep. Spoiler alert, Aydee, it's like a recap of the final. You can see some behind the scenes footage of the last Monday Night Raw in Panama City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last night show there. Okay.
Yeah. And you do Jeff and your favorite Jeff Jarrett, he cussed at somebody. Which is always funny.
Spoiler alert, Vince brought Raw, but then Shane showed up and then said he bought it. So just you know that.
As we all remember from that wonderful, wonderful night in 2001.
Yeah. And being young back then, I didn't understand it. I was like, what are you doing on TV? I mean, it was kind of like, you know, I was getting like in my later teens, and you know how it is, hindsight 2020. You don't understand business until you get older and they start having programs about what actually happened. I think, was it a week ago? Jamie Kellner, he passed away at the age of 77.
Mm-hmm.
How ironic. Think about it. They aired this show and then he kicks the bucket.
Right.
I'm surprised it didn't reach out to him.
I wonder if they did, and maybe he just didn't want, it was like, yeah, no comment, whatever.
Probably. Because that dude's been deep in retirement for a minute. And he's like walked away from TV, come back, walked away, come back. So
yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, very influential, and instrumental in making sure that professional wrestling was never to be aired again on Turner Networks. But that all ended around 2019. So, Marcus, what do you think, or what caused the demise of WCW?
I think I subscribe to like what several people were saying on the documentary, and even before watching all 4 episodes, whatever. Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. Like, of course, you can point the finger at Bischoff, you can point the finger at Hogan and his creative control. You can point the finger at the guaranteed contracts that a lot of the top guys have. Like, I'm sure y'all have seen it, but just whoever else may be watching this or listening to this, just the document that's been going around recently of all the people's salaries around that time, and just the stupid amount of money that some people were making is just crazy and absurd. Between the network not wanting them to, not wanting to show wrestling, especially in two, as Bischoff said, two prime spots of real estate at 8 p.m. on Mondays and Thursdays. It's just a combination. I think it's just a perfect storm of all those things just kind of coming together and chipping in. Then, not to mention, it was almost like those things were already sinking the ship. And then Vince Russo comes in with his stupid gimmicks and stupid writing, stupid stories, and just kind of sinks the rest of it. I don't think the finger can be pointed at one particular person or one particular thing, but just all of it together just kind of made it implode.
Yep. Aydee, what say you?
As it has been said all over the last 20 something years, it's a combination of everything. It's the combination of AOL Time Warner, picking up on TNT. It's the combination of Vince Russo and his car crash TV. It's the combination of Hulk Hogan and his creative control, as Marcus mentioned, also with Eric Bischoff, and it was just a lot of things that made the death of WCW hurt so much more. Because, to be honest, I love WCW more than WWF at the time. I was all in. But once I want to say it was about 2000 hit, that's when everything just tanked. It just felt like they were copying ECW because they took some of their folks, including Sandman. They were doing hardcore matches. It just didn't feel right in the product. And people kind of stopped watching because it started getting weird. So yeah, I just roll in the whole combination of things. I want to do the finger pointing. It's like, it's all y'all's fault.
Yeah, I would say the same thing too. I guess we're going to go 3 for 3 on that one. We're going to fully agree that you can't blame just one entity. I mean, you have to imagine being an entity that has the potential to make money, but all of a sudden they hit a little schneid, and next thing you know, it's like, hey, we got to get this off TV. And then you look at Eric Bischoff, who was trying to put together a package to Fusion Media Group, and for him to try to sell it, only for somebody to swoop in and be like, just kill the deal, it's over with. And then Vince McMahon just swoops right in and buys everything. So the word that I want to use is mismanagement. Mismanagement, because if you look at it from a product standpoint, you had Hulk Hogan in creative control. Does he earn that right? Yes and no. Because as we all know, you can't have the inmates run the asylum. You can't do it. You got to have checks and balances. You got to have a balance of power. You got to have, okay, you can do this, you can do that. That's not gonna work for me, brother. Well, it ain't gonna work for me either, brother. But we got to do it anyway. So had to have somebody to check him. And I don't know if y'all remember the contracts, a term that I learned called favorite nations. The favorite nations contract. And let me see if I can dig up in my cooler decks the term for it or explain it for you. Say I get a contract and it's X amount of dollars. Then you, Marcus, come in and get a contract that's higher than me. Well, guess what? I get a pay bump. And so say if we're both having favorite nations contracts, then Aydee comes in and he gets a number higher than the both of us, then guess what? Boop, boop. Yeah, so it's just one of the wildest contract structures I've ever heard before. I mean, what Bobby Bonilla is doing right now is real cool. Every July 1st, he gets $1 million. I mean, I remember I used to tell people like, oh man, I want to talk about I want to talk to Kirk Cousins' agent. No, I want to talk to Barry Bonds' agent. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Kirk Cousins' agent is about the intermediate game. Bobby Bonilla's agent is about the long game.
It's been what, 30 years, 30 some years?
Yeah, yeah, Bobby Bonilla, I think it's July 1st of every year. I think he'll get $1 million for 30 years until he's almost 70.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then I don't know if I'm 100% certain, but I also heard that he'll get a similar deal with the Baltimore Orioles. He'll get like $500,000 a year or something like that. Man, the hell with Kirk Cousins' agent. I need to see Bobby Bonilla's agent.
For
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, like
That
that's
Joker ain't
wild.
swung a bat since the 90s. Still
Mm.
getting paid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that Joe be swinging a bat from a wheelchair, still getting a check. Crazy, just nuts. But yeah, you got the stuff like the inmates running the asylum, Vince Russo doing his Crash TV. I think a combination of Eric Bischoff and Vince Russo inserting themselves in the program, and then the Time Warner AOL merger, and then not being wanted. It's wild. It's a real wild situation, and I just chalk it up to a lot. I mean, you think about it, you had all that talent and they let a lot of talent go. You got to think Benoit, Guerrero, Malenko, Saturn. That's a mass exodus at once, not little by little, but that's four of your top mid card guys at once. And the funny thing about it is, when they left, like what Chris Benoit was like the world champion for like what 50,
Yeah, they put the belt on him literally like the night before they show up at Raw.
yeah, and it's like, well, damn, because I had forgot that part, and I was like, well, damn, I knew Benoit was a champion, but it seemed to be pretty quick. Oh, that's why it was quick. So yeah,
He
when it comes,
basically pulled a Medusa without bringing the belt and throwing it in the trash can on
yeah,
TV.
yeah, he did that. Or what was it? No, I had the wrong angle. I was going to say when Mike Awesome fought Taz for the title, but Taz was a WWE member and Mike Awesome was ECW, but it was it wasn't that. But yeah, I just it's just a combination of everything between not being wanted, between you got to think that's 29 years of continuous television. 29 years between two networks. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot. So another news, Rhea Ripley and old boy got married.
Hey.
Congrats to them. Yeah, so somebody had they had posted, the kissing photo, but then the photographer had accidentally released the other like solo bridal photos, which looked cool, but there was a massive uproar about it. So the photographer, they accidentally posted them on their page and then they deleted them, and then Twitter just had a ball with it. And people are like freaking out. I was like, why are y'all freaking out? People get married every day just because it's mommy. Like, calm down, weirdos.
It's like you didn't even stand a chance to ever get with Rhea Ripley, so I don't know why you're so mad.
So many people are mad.
Because it's a strong storyline and she's a strong character. And people are emotionally invested in it. Because I ain't gonna lie. You guys know me. I'm all about living in the moment when it comes to good news and sharing it. I saw that picture. I was like, got me too. But I'm like, I get it. They've been dating for a while. And so, I mean, congratulations to them both. Congratulations to them both, Buddy Matthews and Rhea Ripley on Holy Matrimony. What my guy B-Live said, I know Buddy can wrestle, but can he fight?
I would taste it. I would not dare test that Joker. And would you say, AD? You say you hang out with Brody and Tommy, and I wouldn't try.
No, especially
Plus he's swole too.
Yeah,
dude.
That's team hard fighting unless you want to get your ass beat.
For real. Like I've seen Buddy Matthews like When did I see? I saw him at a show once, and I knew he was jacked, right? But we were like maybe a couple rows away, and I was like, that dude is huge, and he's only like 5'11". Dude is jacked to the gills. I'm like,
Yeah.
good lord, it's
Yep.
crazy.
Dude's a fullback, man. He's an Australian fullback. It's crazy, man. Like you say, you see them dudes on TV. Okay, he looked jacked. When we see him in public, damn, like, what
Like,
the
get a
hell?
grip, dude. What you doing?
Yeah, like
What
he was.
kind of workout plan you on?
Yeah, is this all natural or you?
Y'all some gear? Like, what's up?
Yeah. What's the thing that Drake wears now? Like a bodysuit or something like that? Or I'm like, dude, you're in an arena. Who's gonna beat you up? Come on now. You
Right?
got a
He's
you
like,
got a you got a whole freaking bodysuit. Like who's gonna get you? You know, who's
he's doing Shield cosplay on stage.
dun dun
Dun, 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 dun.
mm,
I had a feeling though. I had a feeling that's where Buddy was going because it just seemed weird to write him out of the House of Black stuff all of a sudden, on
mm,
top of Rhea already being out. It's like, I bet he's going to get married. And lo and behold, they did.
yeah. They
Might
figured
as
it out.
well.
Yeah. They figured it out. And so I mean, congratulations to them. Well, we have a 5,999th member of the Bloodline, the Samoan werewolf, Jacob Fatu, made his debut.
Probably
You
the
guys know
best
crazy.
member of the bloodline,
Yeah,
or the modern bloodline at least.
yeah,
Two
of the modern Bloodline. As soon as I saw Solo smile, I was like, "Uh-oh, it is what I think it is." And he looks good. He lost some weight, been taking care of himself, and he's just Jacob Fatu. I mean, we're familiar with his work. We saw what he can do. I saw someone say, I think they said like it's Umaga with one of the what was it a Ricochet move set?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, with Ricochet's moveset or something like
Yep.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
Ricochet's move set, and I was like, that's a damn good way to
Pretty
explain
accurate.
them. Yeah, pretty accurate, man. It's just wild. It's just absolutely
Yeah.
wild. And what did you guys think about Jacob Fatu making his debut on SmackDown?
I thought it was dope. I actually thought like because the same thing like you said when you saw Solo kind of slink into the corner and saw him smile. I thought it
Mm,
was gonna be Hikuleo, but no, it was Jacob Fatu, and I initially thought that Jacob Fatu was gonna show up once Roman came back, like, hey, yo, I'm gonna call a cousin or I'm gonna call somebody, and it's him. But nope,
mm.
he showed up, and of course he wrecked shop, like you say. Immediately noticed that he looked considerably slimmer, but at the same time, he still looked menacing. He was still moving like he normally moves, and I'm excited. I'm excited. It's just like, oh crap, okay, business has picked up now. Jacob Fatu's here. And I know, some of the rumblings have been also like people were worried that he was going to upstage Solo a little bit just because we get it. Solo's kind of, newer, a little bit greener
Mm.
to the biz, but we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. I mean, this whole bloodline thing, just when you think it's good and boring and stale, they tweak it a little bit and like, oh, okay. Like just when we were getting tired of Roman by himself, then they throw in Sammy into the equation. Then, Jay starts to drift off, and then Sammy leaves, and then Jay leaves, and then, just everything has played out interestingly. So I'm interested to see how this plays out from here.
Most definitely, it's a lot of moving parts. And I remember I told somebody about 3 months ago. I told one of my guys at work because I don't want to say they live in that box, but they don't know. I was like, you do know there's another one on the way, right? What you mean by that? I said, there's a dude by the name of Jacob Fatu. I said, the thing about it is, I said, if I'm WWE, I'll hold on to him as long as I possibly can. Because like you, Marcus, my fear was he fit to come in and upstage Solo. He finna come in and show him up. Maybe that's the intended line. That's the intended, the path. But when you look at it, it's kind of like, well, maybe these two can kind of just fight over control of the bloodline and have like an inner bloodline conflict. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And just go from there. So, Aydee, we know you're not that fond of the um, Stanford Embezzlement Company's Empire program, but what you think about Jacob Fatu being put on the big stage and finally having a chance to shine in a prominent angle?
Guy's a game changer. I mean, I've seen what he's done across everywhere. It is going to put a lot of people on to what that man can do. Because if this man, for those who have not seen Jacob Fatu, this man does the triple moonsault thing. Like Kevin, the standing switch moonsault
Mm.
at the size that he was at, which was like close to 290 pounds. Man can do that. He can do all sorts of stuff. Like the guy is incredible. It is going to be amazing to see what that fan base gets out of him once they kind of once they start figuring out matchups and stuff for him. Because I wouldn't be surprised if they had Jacob Fatu versus Kevin Owens right off the bat. Like, despite me not wanting to watch it, that's something I'd want to see if I was still interested in watching.
No doubt, man. Most definitely. It's just that'll be our hard fighting match of the week because don't expect them to do nothing technical.
Yeah, that one's gonna bang.
That's gonna be some hard fighting and some flying. That's pretty much it.
Two big dudes that don't mind flying, two big dudes that don't mind throwing them hands, and two big dudes just don't give a damn. They at one point in time, they just don't give a damn. What is next on the itinerary? Forbidden Door. We got people coming out of everywhere. The go home show to AEW is pretty good. MJF cut a promo. MJF cut a promo. The card was fairly decent. What are we looking forward to with Forbidden Door this coming Sunday? Sunday, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this coming Sunday.
Oh man. I know for me, there's a few. I'm looking forward to the main with Swerve and Osprey. Those are two of my favorites in the game right now. I'm actually gonna pull for Osprey. Like, oh man, the end of Dynamite the other night when Swerve kicked the shit out of Osprey,
Yeah.
snatching his belt. I was like, oh, okay. Looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Bryan Danielson and Shingo Takagi. Or how would you say Shingo?
Takagi Shingo.
Shingo.
For all of y'all out there, oh, that sounds legit right there. For all of y'all out there, I'm relatively new to New Japan. These two put me onto the game, and I've been I've been watching weekly. They show an hour-long show on Access Channel, and I guess that's how I don't really have a whole lot of other time to really get it in, but that's how I get it in. And I think the person that's impressed me the most since I've been watching New Japan is Shingo Takagi. That dude's pretty damn good. He's amazing. He can go like the match that really did it for me was him versus Gabriel Kidd a couple of months ago for the never open weight title. Wow, that was a banger. And but yeah, I'm looking forward to him. We all know what Bryan Danielson can do, and I'm sure just as long as they have plenty enough time to cook, which I'm sure they're gonna get, that one's gonna cook too. But just straight up and down, that whole card looks like it's gonna be pretty good. And AEW is getting. I know for a while, and I mentioned this to y'all a little while ago. It did kind of seem like at one point the pay-per-views were starting to dip in quality a little bit. But no, at the last few they're back up to what what we're used to, just being quality good shows. Whereas Dynamite might not be the best, Collision might not be the best, Rampage, is already given to usually have a low expectation. Although I forget if it was last week or the week before last, they had a really good Rampage. Like, oh, okay, Rampage was like this all the time. we be cooking. But I'm just hoping for just a solid AEW pay-per-view like we're used to getting. So, but those two matches in particular are the ones I think I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, I remember at a point in time, I'd be watching Rampage, and I'm like, oh, that's it? Like I'm like, oh, it's 1 hour. Oh, because you know how you get into it and it gets gooder and gooder, and then it's like, oh, that's it. Okay, you know what I
Or
mean?
either sometimes you might get like, oh, we got Angelico versus Fuego del Sol in the main event. It's like, I'm not interested in this match.
Mm.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Aydee, did I ask you? Did you say anything? Did you?
No, I'm just waiting. I'm just patiently waiting.
Okay, there you
I'm
go.
excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm super excited. Forbidden Door season is always one of my favorites, just because I watch a lot of New Japan, a lot of Stardom. Don't get to see CMLL as much as I'd like to, but whenever I do get to see it, I'm like, oh, I like what's happening down there. So the matches I'm looking forward to, I'm kind of looking at the card right now since they added 2 more matches. This is for 0 hour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the trios match with Mystico and the Lucha Bros versus Lij with Yoda Suji, Titan, and Hiromu Takahashi. That's going to be a fun one. Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano from Stardom versus Chris Statlander versus Momo Watanabe from Stardom. That's also going to be a good one because a lot of people really haven't seen the Black Peach on like U.S. soil. She's good. She's scary good. Like she's been in Stardom for years. So that's one other match I'm looking forward to. And mostly on the main card, of course, looking forward to Mina and Tony getting after it for the AEW Women's World Championship. Mercedes Moné, Stephanie Vaquer, OC and Zack Sabre Jr., and Swerve and Will Ospreay.
I totally forgot about OC and Zack Sabre Jr. Looking forward to that one too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this show is going to be a good show. It's going to be 12 matches.
And that's the thing about AEW, they give you get your money's worth. I really believe when it comes to pay-per-views to get your money's worth. Now, I just wish I was off Sunday where I could watch it, but nevertheless, I always find a way to catch it. That I do. Always find a way to catch it. All right, so today, fellas, Dijak announced it. He ain't coming back.
Mm-hmm.
We can all agree that you can't bounce back from being saddled with a gimmick known as T-Bag or T-Speed or Teacup
T-Money.
or T-Money.
What was that whole show that used to come on? It was like a fake American Gladiators mixed with wrestling.
Dude, and
T-Money.
yeah, and they were in WCW.
Right.
Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god, yeah.
What else killed WCW?
Yeah.
That
Master P making a quarter damn near $500,000 for 2 appearances. Yeah, that's another thing to kill WCW. Yeah. I just think when it comes to him, man, he's a hell of a talent. Talking about Dijak, and when you saddle him with a gimmick like that, and then I call him the mean cranky uncle gimmick was pretty good. I liked it, but it just never hits. And so I just hope he goes on the independence and just tears shops up because he's a great talent. I hope everybody can feast their eyes.
I think he might be a good fit in somewhere like I actually got it on my TV right here, whatever. It's the replay of Impact this week. I think it might be a good fit in Impact.
Yep.
Might be a good fit in like MLW or somewhere like that. And they might be able to take advantage of what he's capable of doing. Because, yeah, of course, he's that big dude, but he works a smaller guy, style. And I think that could complement, especially in Impact, where they got a couple of big guys like Moose or Jake something or or Khan and them. But then he can work with some of the X Division guys as well, just with the cool shit.
All right, Aydee, what you got before we mosey on up out of here? As far as Dijak goes,
I think he'll do fine on the independents. The guy, I mean, he kind of came from that. I'd like to see him in Japan. Want to see him there. Be cool to see him in Impact. I mean, AEW's kind of crowded right now, but yeah, I'd like to see him in Japan for sure to kind of take over the Lance Archer role that he had for a bit, where he's just destroying people.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like the perfect thing to feast your eyes on.
Yep. Well, wrestling fans out there, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Connoisseurs of Wrestling podcast. Come on back. This ain't the last episode. There's gonna be plenty more coming soon. So y'all take care and be good, be safe. And in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll greatly appreciate it now more than ever. This is the Connoisseurs of Wrestling podcast.
Peace.